Hey.
Hey.
What's going on?
Ooh.
Get that off you. Don't lose the lens cap, miss. You've been very unresponsible with that the last 2 days. Welcome.
Hey.
So we're in front of the camera. We're just sitting down near the not pig circle that we created.
They don't even know about this yet.
Oh, because we
have to start again.
Yeah. Hey, how you going?
Hey.
I'm Corey.
I'm Amanda from Rockpile Off-Grid Homestead.
And we're sitting down at our little pig paradise pen. Exciting day in the next couple of hours for us.
Yep.
We're going to go get
2 little piggies from Mel at Honeybee Farmstead.
Yep.
So behind us is the pen we made for them to go in.
Yes.
Now, we videoed that and you'll see that video after this one.
After this video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
So we wanted to let you guys know that, you know, we're getting pigs. We're getting a couple of feeder pigs. So these are not for breeding.
Yep.
We're going to feed them up and they'll go to freezer camp. 6 months or so.
Yep.
Right, so we've got a bit of a plan. This is the first time doing pigs, and we've been doing some research. I have
Here's my book that you may use.
My notebook thing, because you know, I like.
I was actually surprised I was even allowed to touch it. To tell you the truth.
He wasn't allowed to touch a pen though.
No.
So,
so you got a whole heap of stuff written down.
I do have a whole heap of stuff here, and I've got kind of the outline of what might be a good chart that we can record things like their weight and how much feed they need,
feed they get.
Their condition, so we can do condition testing, and it'll just have spaces for like a health record. And I've started recording what we purchased for the pigs.
Is that going to be just on like a spreadsheet? Like
so I'll put it into my little bookie here.
Yeah.
But if you're, I'll draw it up, and after we've had this chat, I'll take you through my little chart thing, give you a look-see, you know, if you want to do something similar, just to make a record of this first time.
Yeah.
So this will be our pig record. We'll note the breed. I mean, I think they're a crossbreed, so even if that's broad, the sexes of them, we're getting 2 to 6 males.
Yes.
And you might have already seen, if you follow Mel from Honeybee Farmstead, she's published a video taking you through desexing male pigs.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you don't follow her, you should.
Yes. Head over. So, I was grateful enough that she had me over along with another homesteader,
and you watched it all.
Alyssa from Rustic Groves Farm.
Yep. Follow them too.
So
definitely.
She showed us the whole process. We didn't participate that much, but we observed. So that was really interesting. So there'll be 2 to 6 males. I'll get the birth date, acquisition date, which is, what's the date today? The 27th. So I'll have the acquisition date.
Yep.
And their age in weeks, so we can track how they are in weeks.
Yep, and
their weight. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to get their weight today because they're brand new to us. Might not be able to cache them.
We do have the old scales in the shed, like the old grocer scales.
Yeah. Okay.
We got them. We can get a rough ballpark figure of the weight.
Maybe.
Yep.
All right, so we might be able to get a starting weight coming from here. I don't know exactly what records Mel has kept, but once we get to Mel's place, she'll be talking us through the care of them, like other tips and tricks and that sort of thing, and we're going to be taking you along for that. Cool. And basically it'll be a table that tracks their age in weeks, whatever date we do the record, their weight on that date, how much feed that calculates into that we need to give them,
Yep.
and that will determine the feed we give them for the week. Like, and for the feed we are doing like a soaked oat and barley
Mix.
ferment. Yeah. So we'll like ferment that feed, and we'll do a condition test. So I've got just some notes about how to indicate, like how to judge their condition, just so we can keep an eye on whether or not our feed amount is spot on.
Yep.
And I'll just have, a bit for a health record. So purchased, stuff we purchased so far is...
you got all sorts of stuff.
So you bought the drinking nipples for the for the water for the pigs, and that was in a pack of 10. I can list these prices. I might do that when I show you the chart. You've bought a fence energizer. We still need to get some tape. You bought a post rammer, which we kind of factored into this because even though it didn't get here in time for us to use it, but I've got it down there because this was kind of the start.
We needed one anyway for like the petrol star picket rammers. We needed one, but
I've noted that down, but that probably won't go into
the cost of
the entire
pigs.
Cost of the pigs. The cost of the pigs, the oat and barley mix, which worked out at about $200 per tonne. A couple of feed tubs, they were $27 each. A couple of scoops, $10 each. And then there's other incidentals.
Little bits
and bobs. A lot of this we just made using existing materials.
We had all the mesh, all the pickets. I think I had to buy a little bit of wire, just that soft wire to wire stuff together. And
and I've got notes on how to... Did we just get swooped?
Yeah, I think so.
So I've got notes on how to estimate their weight based on measurements.
On length and girth.
On, girth, heart girth, and length, basically from the base of the tail to between the ears, or the base of the ear. And I can give you those calculations as well.
Lovely.
And so we'll just keep a record of that, and we're pretty ready.
I think so.
We're ready. There are a couple of things. They're still small. We know for sure one won't be able to get out of this fencing. We're thinking the second one won't. Like 90% certain it'll be okay.
But we'll have a hot wire in there within a week anyway, so that's good. It is.
The other thing that we might need to consider is predators.
Because we do have a fox that we see every now and then going up the track, up to the top of the hill, and the pigs are only like little, like they're not that big. So I'm just getting bitten. Oh no, it was a fly. So we are a little bit concerned for the next few weeks if Mr. Fox is going to come in at night and help himself to the pork smorgasbord. So we're just going to put a little bit of mesh in front of these, and hopefully, like when the pigs go in at night, I can kind of sneak down and just close the little mesh gate. And in the morning we can open it up. That's kind of what we're thinking. We'll see how that goes.
I feel like there's a... Oh, it is. It's a 20.
Oh, he's right
there's
there.
Some like ring-neck parrots, 28s above us, just snacking.
Don't open your mouth.
No. Don't. When you're looking up at birds, don't open your mouth. That's it. That's our news. This is the new addition to Rockpile.
You guys know
Homestead.
us. We're not... We do have a 10-year plan, and like this is the first step in the plan.
Becoming more
so we had to get there sooner or later. And
growing and
after
processing
this,
our own meat.
I've started working on a paddock in this actual area where we're sitting of about 2,000 square metres. So that'll be our first sheep paddock, and then we can just expand paddocks from there.
Paddocks, and like cell grazing, like all that stuff that we've told you guys that we're learning how to do.
So hopefully, like this year, we will kind of make our little menagerie, we'll increase it. We don't have dates, but we like to be prepared, as prepared as we can.
So this is the first kind of big animal that we're getting.
Well, they're little.
No, well, they're little now. They're little now.
But they're going to be big. So that'll be cool.
2 little boys, and we'll see how they go. Wish us luck. there's still risks, you know, getting out, predators.
Because, you know, if they get out...
Doing the right thing, keeping them healthy.
You know, we've got 100 acres and it's very... most of it is inaccessible by, like, car, even like 4-wheel drive, because it's just so hilly and rocky. So there's a high chance that we'll never catch them. We'll just
I don't think it'll be an issue. It'll be fun.
No, he'll be good. All right.
It'll be fine. Hopefully I'm not foreshadowing anything.
It'll be good.
It'll be fine.
I've got the lens cap.
All right. So we're going to see you over at Mel's when we pick up the piggies. Yep. And in the meantime, I will just quickly show you my little chart. And
we'll go from there.
Yeah, and then you get to meet our pigs.
Yeah.
That are going to be with us for the next 6 months or so.
And they've already got names. White pig and brown pig.
Yeah.
So...
Or like the pigs.
Yep.
So they probably won't end up with actual names.
No.
No.
Anyway, all
okay.
right, thank you. I'm going to get up now. I'm going to try. We'll do that bit off.
All right, we'll see you guys shortly.
We'll do that bit off camera.
All right, bye.
Okay, just jumping in here to do a little overview of the charts and stuff I made up. So this is my notebook, and this is just an overview here, so you can pause it and have a zoom in. Or a longer look, and I'm just going to go down to the page and show you all the bits and pieces that I've got. So on page 1, I've got the information relating to each pig. So I'll fill all this in with when I acquired them, what weight they are, and then each of those columns, there's some like text coming through from the page behind, so it looks a little bit messy. So age, and that will be in weeks, the date that obviously we're recording the data, their girth, length, and how that calculates into weight, how that weight impacts what feed, like the amount of feed they have, and their condition. So the weight and the condition refer to, just come over here, these reference items here. So we will judge the weight by measuring them, and that calculation is there in the metric. So we've got heart girth in meters and then squared, and that equals the girth. You times the girth by length, and you multiply that by 69.3, and that gives you the kilograms. And apparently that is accurate, usually to within about 3%, and that is a close-up of where the heart girth and the length you measure from. So the heart girth is around the chest area, just behind the front legs, and then the length is from the base of the ear to the base of the tail. The condition checks, just got a couple of points here that we can check. Feeling along their back, a kind of flat dinner plate style at the lower back. Should be quite smooth, like over that back rump area, so not bony and not lumpy from being like too fatty. And then the spinous process, which is if you're feeling along their back where their spine is, you shouldn't be able to kind of dig your fingers in around it like you might be able to do if you're doing a condition check on a sheep. That should just, you shouldn't be able to pinch it at all. You shouldn't be able to feel it very much at all. And then I've got a section that I'm going to input our purchases in, and also a section where I can just make notes about any medical stuff we've done to them, if there's any medications, the dates we wormed them, or anything to do with that. That is where we'll put that. So that is just the information I've got. Little notebook on like a 2-page spread, and we'll be able to see at a glance comparison between the two piggies as they're growing and what we're feeding them. And I've got like some space here in case I want to add anything else or add any notes. So that is that. I'll just get a shot there, and there we go. Thanks, guys.
Find it.
Got the beautiful Mina with us. She's a crazy dog.
Ooh.
So I saw you with the feed just then, and the feed, like I've already spoken to you about, like soaking feed. You do fermented feed?
Yes.
And it looked like had all the water absorbed, or like what happens there?
Mostly. So you'll find that just about that far under the surface, the water's there. We do it with a bit of molasses.
Oh,
because
okay.
the sugars in the molasses
Helps
help
with fermentation.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and it also, molasses is excellent for minerals and vitamins for the pigs anyway.
Yep.
All the animals, actually. So the same happens for the goats. Fermented grains are actually good for all your farmyard animals. Chickens, everything. It means that the grain is able to break down in their system, whereas otherwise it just passes straight through and it's a bit of a waste.
I kind of jumped the gun a bit here.
Yep.
I told you guys Corey and I were going to get our first set of piggies from Mel, our bee-farmstead. Thank you. And Mel has kindly offered to give me some more info about it because we're first time piggy owners. So, all right, so we're talking about fermented feed. What else are kind of things we need to... I know we've been like chatting and we're getting stuff set up, but what other things should we be looking out for or be aware of?
Pretty well. Pigs are almost as great as chickens in the respect of they're super easy to keep. They eat pretty much everything. So as long as they've got fresh water, water is tough in that they will tip it over and jump in it and swim in it, so it's always getting dirty. And we've had to tie our feeders to the fence because they just kept tipping them over.
Yep.
And then not realising no wonder we're thirsty. So that's a bit of a thing.
We got those little
nipples.
The little nipple things. So
I haven't used them yet.
So we'll have to see if they need to be trained to that. We're thinking like maybe a bit of peanut butter or something with that. Like what would be something tasty to put on there to entice them to?
Anything like that. Honestly, pigs love and eat pretty much everything. And a pig, as far as its gut is concerned, is a bit like a chicken. There's very few things they can't eat. In fact, I haven't found anything. So they'll eat all your kitchen scraps.
Yep.
When I was keeping them prior, they didn't really love onion and garlic and anything in the allium range.
Yep.
But it still gets composted down in the ground, so not a big deal. Grace is just walking her lamb off screen. Yeah, so as far as food goes, you'd be hard pressed to find something they don't like.
Cool.
And that they can safely eat pretty much everything. Anything they can't eat, they won't eat.
All right. So how about volume? Like, have you got any sort of formula that you use when you're feeding them up to a point?
You can't fill up a pig.
But do you want to, like,
how
fat do you? Because while they're growing, the goal isn't to like fatten them out. It's to give them enough fuel so they can hit their growth.
Yeah,
kind of milestone.
correct. The other thing is there's been a lot of research done about, like, yours are going to be feeder pigs, right?
Yep.
So there's been a lot of, and Joel Sullivan talks a lot about having them move. So pigs that are fed in stalls, the protein's rubbish. It's not great. They develop protein by moving and rooting around and jumping over things and scratching on things and doing their active. So a wild caught pig, for example, is a way better tasting animal.
Okay.
Because it's been foraging and roaming and jumping over things and running from things. They need that to build that protein. So what you guys are planning to do is perfect.
Yes. Oh, okay. Great. That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so we can probably just... So you don't use a particular formula? Because we've researched a couple of formulas and we're just going to...
More regular feeds through the day.
Okay.
So, but these guys this size, they wouldn't have a stomach any bigger than that.
Yeah, okay.
They do seem to just always be grazing. I feel like it works through their body quicker. But we try and keep our pigs a little bit leaner.
Yep.
Because every time we've butchered pigs where we've just fed them and fed them and fed them, it's just this massive layer of fat.
Yeah.
And very little protein because they're so fat, they don't move a lot.
Yeah.
So try and keep them... You don't want them skinny or anything like that, but if you know that they're well fed, they'll always be screaming at you for food. That'll be your biggest issue, is that you're they're hungry. They're not hungry. They just love to always eat. So that's why what you guys are going to do with give them toys and things to play with.
That's going to be my next question.
Yeah, they're very active. They're super intelligent. So we'll put tyres in there and they move them about, or
that's a good idea.
exercise balls.
Yep.
Anything like that. They'll play with them and flick them about. You're having another little friend for them. So again, there's no rule with that. But I don't like to keep an animal on its own.
Yeah.
They're a herd or a flock animal. So getting two's perfect. You've got two desexed males, so they shouldn't fight. They will. They're still young, so they do the puppy thing.
Yep.
They do play fight. but you know, they're not going to fight and try and hurt each other or anything like that. If you had 2 females, they might. Like I find Poppy has been really horrible to Charlotte the entire time. They're sisters. But yeah, they don't ever hurt each other to the point where I've even needed to intervene or do medication or anything. So yeah, they play, and as long as you get their mind stimulated, because they are a very intelligent animal, you'll be great.
Okay, so tyres we've got, because we had like this large ball that we kind of found for the dogs, but it's like way too big for the dogs, and it's really heavy duty, like hard plastic, and we're like, oh, that'd be good for the pigs.
Yeah.
So tyres, I'm sure we can find other stuff around. Do they like having like obstacles to kind of run around or through, or do they just like moving things?
They like scratching.
Yep.
So putting big chunks of wood and sticks and rocks and things, logs and things where they can scratch on, you'll notice them scratching constantly. It's also the best way to get interact with your pig is give it a scratch on the belly and it'll flop on its side.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how you want to do it. The ball's perfect. You know, anything that's got a sound to it, a squeaking sound, a rattling sound, a bit like a dog, really. Yeah, they'll love it.
All right, awesome. Another thing is risk of predators.
No, none.
Okay.
That's why they're so easy to keep. Even your little ones.
Not even that size?
Nah, they're
Okay.
so fast. They're very robust. Like when you catch them, if you want, we can get you guys to catch them. You'll feel they're just so nuggety, and you know, realistically, there's more threat of predators to Mina at that size than there is to a piglet.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Right. Anything else I need to know before we go get piggies?
Fencing is
right.
the main thing.
Awesome.
So I know that you guys have worked on it. I know we've discussed it before, but it's just for argument's sake for other people. Pigs are really difficult to keep in if they're bored or hungry or they need something or they don't have their company. You've sort of figured out all those issues. However, they might still decide they want to go roaming. Electric fencing, pigs respond beautiful to electricity. They hate it. My big guy in there does not realise he could just get out and go wherever he likes. One little zap and he'd be gone, but he hates it. He won't test it ever. He's been zapped probably twice.
Yep.
And we encourage him towards it with a bit of food. He touches that little thing and then he never did it again. And I think one of the girls pushed him into it once accidentally and he copped a zap, and now he doesn't even go near the feeding circle in case they push him on it. Like he's super aware of that electricity.
Do they test it? Do they test the fences?
Once.
Okay.
If there's electricity there and you do it the first time, they'll never test it again.
All right.
The only reason she kept getting out, well, she knew that there was electricity there, but was because she had been out once before when it got left off. So somehow she got out, was pushing rocks up on it or whatever.
My leg is not a sheep. Sorry.
I don't think these guys can see what you're busy.
No.
Yeah. So mainly fencing. Like, to be honest, this is the first time we've used electric fencing with our pigs. We usually have them in like a sty, very big, where we had a railway sleeper buried almost under the ground, and then really good solid mesh. And they never got out of there. They can't jump really high either, so the fencing doesn't have to be too high. But ring lock and things, forget about it. They will get out and they will go.
All right, so we've started with star pickets and heavy mesh. And then we've got an energizer coming. I don't think that's here until next week. And we'll run an internal. About how high up do you reckon?
Nose height.
Okay.
So if they're wee little pigs, you want to be fairly close to the ground. And remember, if there's any grasses growing up, that'll short that out. So try and have nothing touching that. And then, just move it up as they grow. If you look at that height there, I mean, sort of that far off the ground when they're adults, because they're a low-profile animal anyway. Their legs aren't very long.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I hope that was helpful.
I guess it's time to get the pigs.
Are you excited or are you scared? You look more scared.
No, I might not.
You look more scared.
Is it the same? Is it the same feeling? Being excited
Well, we've de-sexed them, so they're actually a lot quieter than the others. They've already started their calming down. We've had them separated from mums for a couple of days. We're feeding them. And they're getting really used to that. They adapt really easy.
All right, well, let's do this then.
You still look nervous. What's wrong?
Back up.
Ooh, yummy. Ow, don't bite my finger. You can have some. They make a different sound when they're eating. They tell each other there's food here. Yeah. Oh, you got it all, you fat pig. Look at her. That's why she's visibly bigger than everyone. She's figured out the food thing quick. See this? See how subdued they go, one leg up?
Yeah. Yep.
That's how they handle them in piggeries.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know how it works, but it works.
Look at that.
Hey guys. Hey.
Welcome to your new home. Hey?
All right.
You ready?
Ready.
Welcome. Come on. The little one can only just reach it.
Peanut butter will work well. I mean, he's just trying to get the peanut butter off of it. Oh, beautiful sunrise.
The colour changes so quick. It's like it was all like red and orange. Beautiful. Just before.
First night with the piggies. We're going to go down and check.
We checked them last night, what time, like
They're still there.
8 o'clock, and they were still running around having a bit of a maddie.
So they might be napping.
I'm
Or,
hoping,
you know.
hoping they're napping.
We'll see. Can't see them yet. Let's have a look. Look at these little ones. They're sleeping. I woke them up.
You don't like being woken up?
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Hi. Hi, good morning. Hi. You made it through the night. You all snuggled up together.
Hey, enough you two. From the back cheap seats.
Did wake them up. I'm sorry, darlings. But they were so cute. So got them some breakfast. Looks like their their drinking nipple there has. They must have taken off the peanut butter from last night. Hopefully they know that's where they get their water.
Good morning.
They at least
he
know.
He knows that's where we get peanut butter from.
At least they know that's where they get peanut butter from. Okay, we made it through the night.
Okay, so what do we do tomorrow? We don't wake them up.
Okay, I won't wake them up tomorrow. But that was very cute.
They were cute. I'm glad they went in there.
Yeah.
Got snuggled. We'll chuck a bit more stuff.
Yeah,
in
they
there
need a bit more in there.
And
because they kind of like pushed it around and pushed some out.
they're actually quite delicate how they eat. They're like I'm just going to have a little bit. Maybe a little bit more.
You were saying how they're not like a puppy that just gorges.
Yeah. Yeah, like a puppy. Like you put some wet food down for a pup, they just like engulf it.
We've had these two boys for just on a week now. They are happy, safe and growing well. And we'll be sure to keep you updated with how they're going. Coming up soon will be a video detailing how we built their pen and enclosure. So make sure you subscribe so you can get all the details on that. Thanks folks, see you later.